People, match week 12 predictions. Basically, this is going to be done with myself and Ryan. If you're new to the channel, then you won't know who Ryan is really. But he's not here. He said he would be, but he's not. But basically, we're going to go through every game in the Premier League match week, each week from this week on. And we will be predicting sorry. The winner, the goal scorers, and the correct score. And there's going to be a point system for this, which I'm about to say right now. So basically, if you predict the correct winner in a game, it's 1 point. If you predict the correct score in a match, 3 points. For every goal scorer that you predict, you get 2 points. If you predict 5 correct winners over the match week, you get 5 points. If you predict this 6 correct goal scorers over the match week, you get 5 points. If you predict the correct score and goal scorers in games with more than 2 goals or more, 5 points. And the big one is if you predict all correct scores over the games across the match week, you get 30 points. Now just bear in mind that is hard. You've got to predict every game's correct scores. That's mad. So yeah, we'll be keeping track of this every week. At the start of each prediction, I'll add it all up and we'll put it on the screen between me, Ryan. So let's get into the first game, which is Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. So this game is 4th against 9th in the Premier League, so it's quite a high up game in terms of league placements. Chelsea have a pretty decent record at home versus Palace. They've scored 33 goals at home versus them since the start of the Premier League, whereas Palace have only scored 16 at Stamford Bridge. So to only score 16 over the whole course of the Premier League, I just can't see them winning, especially on their form as well. I mean, personally, I believe in the whole thing. It was a big thing with Leicester and Crystal Palace for a while, as in, just it doesn't matter if you're on form. If you're at that ground against that team, it can go that way, if you know what I mean, if you don't have the history. So I've gone with Chelsea 2, Palace 1, with Abraham, Pulisic and Zaha being the goal scorers. And Ryan has gone with similar, Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace 1, Pulisic, Willian, Kovacic, which is interesting, and Wilfried Zaha as the goal scorers. So that's the first game. The next game is Burnley versus West Ham United. Now this is a 14th versus 15th placement match. Burnley being in 14th, West Ham being in 15th. Both teams have scored 14 goals each, but combined have conceded 35 goals after 11 games in this Premier League. So they've both got very leaky defences. And over the past 10 matches combined, so like the past 5 game weeks, the only win has come from Burnley with a 1-0 win over Everton at home. So that means West Ham have not won a game in their past 5 league matches, which is horrific. Both teams will want these points, seeming their league placements. That's why I think it will be quite an open scoring game, especially combined with the poor defensive record so far from both teams. So I predict it will be 2-2 with Ashley Barnes scoring both of Burnley's goals and Haller and Felipe Anderson getting on the score sheet for West Ham United. Ryan has predicted Burnley 2, West Ham 1, with Barnes scoring 2 and Haller scoring West Ham's goal. So quite similar in the sense of scoring for a game again. It's the big game of the weekend. Newcastle versus Bournemouth, 15th versus 7th. Outside of the bottom 3, Newcastle have the worst goal difference, sitting on -8 with 9 scored and 17 conceded. Alongside this, sitting in joint 9th for the top goal scorers is Callum Wilson with 5 goals so far this Premier League campaign, which is actually joint with Mohamed Salah for Liverpool. So just based on paper, this seems like a game that Bournemouth realistically should dominate. So I have gone with a 2-0 victory for Bournemouth with Josh King and Callum Wilson getting on the score sheet. And Ryan has gone with Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 3 with Ryan Fraser, Joshua King, with 2 goals, and John Joe Shelvey getting the goal for Newcastle United. So that's 2-0 Bournemouth from me and 3-1 Bournemouth from Ryan. Southampton versus Everton is the next game we are talking about, and this is 18th versus 17th. Everton being in 17th place this Premier League campaign, which is appalling for a club of that size, seeing that they wanted to go for Europe at the start of the season. Can't be happening now. And I've predicted that if Everton lose this game, Marco Silva will get the sack. Will he? Will he not? Who knows? It's basically a relegation game, really. It's a relegation battle game. If Southampton win, they do not even move out of the relegation zone due to Everton's 11 goal difference on Southampton as of the recording of this video. So that is it's mad, isn't it? How Southampton win. They could win by an amazing amount of goals, and Everton would still stand there above them in the league table. I mean, that's what Leicester did to Southampton, lads. That's all I'm going to say. I've predicted that Everton will come out victorious because, come on, if they don't, oh my God. I've predicted Richarlison and Gylfi Sigurdsson to get on the score sheet for a 2-0 win for Everton. And I think Sigurdsson will be taking the place of horrifically injured Andre Gomez. And I wish the best for him and his recovery. Ryan has he's predicted that it'll be a 1-0 victory to Everton with Richarlison getting on the score sheet. So once again, very similar predictions. The next match, Spurs versus Sheffield United, and I mean this is I struggled for this one because Spurs are so dodgy right now. It's impossible, and the heart that Sheffield United have in their team, it's I don't know, I don't even know the word for it. Incomparable to any other team right now in the Premier League, if that's the right way to say that. It's an 11th versus 6th. Surprisingly, Spurs are the team in 11th, not Sheffield United. Both teams' most recent games ended with high-ish scoring games, with Sheffield United winning 3-0 against Burnley, and in the Champions League, Tottenham beat Red Star Belgrade 4-0. But I must say, Spurs are really poor in the league. And alongside this, Sheffield United have not lost in the previous 4 matches, picking up 8 points compared to Spurs' 2 in the past 4 matches they've played. So I've predicted this to be a 1-1 draw. I can't see Sheffield United turning over Tottenham, but I can see them easily grinding out a draw because they're probably the best team in the league for grinding out results at the moment. So I've predicted 1-1 with Heung-min Son and Moussa getting on the scoreline for Sheffield United. Score sheet, sorry. And Ryan has predicted Tottenham to beat Sheffield 2-1 with Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, and I can't say his name. He's pretty good though. He's Lundstrom. I can't say his name, but I know he's talking about, and he's a decent player. So let's get on to the next game. The big game. Come on, you foxes. Oh, now this is the 3rd versus 5th, and if we win this game, holy shit, we are dividing that gap between us in the top 4 and dropping into Europa League placements. And I mean, we'll get on to Liverpool, Man City later, but this could be a great weekend for us. Unai Emery is under a great amount of pressure, especially after that poor result against, I can't say it too well, Vitoria in the Europa League midweek. Vitoria, I think they're, I'm not checked, it's one thing I didn't check. I'm pretty sure they're halfway down the Liga NOS table. So it's appalling that they can't even beat, I don't want to say a Sunday League team, but come on. On top of this, they've not won a Premier League game since the 6th of October, which was a 1-0 win over Bournemouth at the Emirates. Comparing this to our form, out of the last 5 games, we have picked up 12 points, scoring 18 goals, and only conceding 1, with Vardy on fire with 10 goals this season, making him top goal scorer. I do see him scoring alongside inform Jose Perez for his big man Perez. However, 4th top goal scorer, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who has 8 goals this season. I think he will break our defence because his pace and his talent is, I could go to a degree to say it's unmatched in the Premier League. He's a very unique player with how he controls the ball and the pace that he has behind him. But also you could kind of compare Vardy and Aubameyang, but still. So I've gone with 2-1 Leicester with Vardy, Perez and Aubameyang getting the scoreline like I've just stated. And Ryan has gone with 3-1 Leicester. See, Ryan knows his stuff. 3-1 Leicester with Vardy scoring twice. Tielemans is a good shout for goal scorer and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting on the score sheet for Arsenal. Come on, you foxes. The final game this week, Liverpool versus Man City versus second. Mad game. Biggest match in the Premier League season so far in my opinion. If there is a winner in this match, I think that team could well win the league here, especially if Liverpool win, as that creates a great 8 point gap between them. And if this happened and results go in favour of Leicester and Chelsea, we will see City drop to 4th in the Premier League, making Leicester runners up. As I'm thinking about what's best for the Foxes, ideally a 2-2 draw for us. It'd be very good for us to catch up, especially if we win. Sterling Aguero getting on the score sheet for Man City, and Mane and inform Oxlade-Chamberlain getting on the score for Liverpool. And Ryan's put 3-2 Man City, big one. Wait, or has he gone? Oh no, he's gone. Yeah, 3-2 Man. Yeah, sorry, 3-2 Man City with Sterling scoring two for. I think he plays for Liverpool still though. Playing scores two for Man City, Aguero scores for Man City, and Mane scores two for Liverpool. So we will add up these points at the end of this week and in next week's video for this predictions for match week 13. We will add it up and then we'll obviously speak about match week 13 predictions as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and leave your predictions in the comments if you want. We don't get many comments around here, but if you want to, go for it. Thanks for watching. See you later.